Hi, I'm Annie Ritz.
And I'm Daniel Rabin, and we are the founders of And Studio.
And this is how to create an authentic space and forget the dream home. So for us, the most important way to start a project is to know your desires and how you want to feel in your space and how you want to live. And I think that's what we started on in this project. It was a sense of retreat from the city, a sense of wanting to feel peaceful and in flow at home and recharge and be with nature. The other thing for us that's so important is that sense of authentic expression when you're designing. So finding your own voice. If you're looking at Pinterest images and just wanting what you see, there may not really be anything authentic about that, and it won't really serve the need that you're seeking. So that's part of our process of pulling out deep desires, unraveling people's psyches, if you will, and finding the present peace that they're looking for, that expression that they're seeking from inside that they don't really have the skills to pull out themselves, but we can for them.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a, divining process where you're kind of listening to clients' wants and, desires and needs and likes. And you can look at the fact that you might align on vision or recognize the fact that you might have a different vision. And it really is the job of the team that you're working with to figure out what that overlapping notion of the vision is between what seems two different things.
I think that's the sweet spot. I think when different visions come together, the creativity becomes broader and bigger and more exciting. If you're all aligned from the get-go, it's sort of like, well, we kind of know where we're going then. A little bit of the tension can be exciting creatively.
But it's maybe somebody's vision that you don't fully understand yet, and you can trust that person to have that space to kind of bring it forth. And more often than not, I think when we give each other that trust or that space, you get to go somewhere that you didn't foresee. Yeah, I'd also say trust in a bit of the process. Coming from the architecture side of things, there's this real innate desire to control everything and have everything be as exactly as it's been drawn on paper, and that you allow for no room in the process, and that just doesn't happen. And there's always things that don't match on site or conditions, and that you realize that stranglehold that you want on the project to control it is really working against you, and you can relinquish some of it and trust in the people you're working with or each other in terms of process to really, allow a project to grow.
Knowing what you like, just as a general thing in life, is so important. If you know what you like and don't like, that is a great starting point. That doesn't mean that's what you're gonna get, but that means that you can embrace your deep desires and know them instantly, and you know what you're responding to. Some people can get really caught in, honestly, the question of, I don't know, is this me or is it not me? That's a really difficult place to be from a designer's perspective, because I know what I like and I can give you something that's, that really speaks to my own heart and soul. But if a client doesn't know what they truly like, it's very challenging. And what happens when someone doesn't have that, it'll come out at some point. Something will trigger a crisis that really brings that to the surface. And for us, that's also a very important moment where we're like, okay, step back a little bit and let this happen so that they can really step into what we're designing for them and their role in it, right? Their personal role. Okay, so how do you uncover your own desires when doing a project? I think part of that has to do with what's the last place you've been to where your behavior shifted or changed and you felt really different and good. There was something about it that was enlivening or loosening for you that was really exciting. That's something that we're very interested in. That tells me where a transformation could happen from a spatial and design point of view. And that's really what we're doing, right? When you design a personal custom space for someone, we're offering them this moment of transformation, or we're guiding them through it, right? We're taking them to it. And moving into a new home that you've designed with a designer that's custom is a really big moment in life that is never lost on us. And it represents a major shift in how you live and how your life reflects back to you through your space. So yeah, figuring out, what was the last hotel you've been to that left this big impression on you, where you just felt really different, or you felt light and airy in a way that you don't feel in your space now. Or a museum you've been to and there was this clear story window and the way the light came in, you stood and watched it for a while. Those kind of moments where you feel this deeper sense of connection to yourself and you can't put your finger on it, we want to hear about. Those are really important.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ideas and references that come from hotels, restaurants, like menus from restaurants that sort of trigger how they felt. The process of doing it, and I think Annie kind of has it totally right there. It's like,
I love when you say that.
It's like you cannot finish a project and then walk through that door and move in and not have it change you. It's been this process of creating and building and sort of leading up to it, but that moment that you actually go into it is transformative.
And I think that's where some of the paralysis comes from during the process for clients potentially of I don't know, is this me or is that me? Who am I? It's a real question. It's a real thing that's happening. And our gut feeling about that, or our disposition on it, is really, it's not who you are hoping to look like or who you think you should be or what society has told you you're going to be. It's about who am I inside right now that I'm not really showing to people? That part of me wants to be expressed, and how can we express that for you so that your exterior world is really a reflection of the interior? And it's a really exciting moment when you can create that kind of authentic space for yourself and be in it. It's very restorative and it's very exciting.
Yeah, I think that, at least in what I like, is just give it all, don't edit it, don't even say what you like about things, let us sort of look it all over. And usually we'll kind of pick out, maybe if there's 500 things that we're looking at, we can pick out 6 that we're these are interesting connections, we can see a relationship between these ideas and kind of work with that.
But there's also, I'll add to that, the sense of great satisfaction when a project is done and a client moves in and they're sort of delighted and surprised by the whole thing. Oh, it feels exactly how I wanted it to feel, but it's nothing like I thought it would be, And there's that element where when true creativity has happened, it's very delightful and it's very surprising. And it just feels really good. I think the word perfect is not real and doesn't exist, so that's not even something that anyone should consider. And I definitely bristled at the term dream home because I think that it suggests a future concept that's not really here and now. And our goal when we design something for ourselves or for other people is to really uncover and unearth those sort of desires and secret wishes. If you believe that your external world is really your internal world made real, then what is it now that you want to be in and how do you want to live right now? And that will always change. So enjoy that now, and then when you're ready to change it.
If people know what they like, it's really easy to come up with something that's unique and custom and tailored to them. If we're working through a series of wants, it ends up it almost predetermines so much of the creativity in the process.
So we were saying yesterday, coming to us with your needs and likes is much better than coming with your wants. If you come with your needs and likes, there's lots of room for creativity. If you come with a want, it's actually something we have to work against and sort of undo before we can get to the good stuff.